Hi, I'm Melle Hartman, and today we're talking about facing the dark. Today's card is the moon. Now, the moon is the opposite of the sun. At nighttime, things are dark. There can be fear, there can be anxieties. The moon card is about the other side of the orderly, obvious energy of the sun. This is where there's illusion. This is where things are not quite always as they seem, and things can be like downright scary. When I was little, I was afraid of the dark. Now, I mean like really afraid. I mean to tears every night. I remember crawling into my bed and having my night light and trying to face it, surrounding myself with stuffed animals, and it was about like wishing sleep upon me because I knew that that's how I would get to morning faster. I just wanted to skip the nighttime. And I stayed like that for longer than I might want to admit. I even remember, our basement was terrifying to me. I would not go down there. I would not go to play there, even though it was set up as a playroom. If occasionally my mom would have me go downstairs to like get something out of our deep freezer, and I would run so fast so that I wouldn't have to even think about what could be chasing me. I just hated it. When I was a teenager, I worked as a lifeguard. And during those years, the first summer especially, I mostly worked, the morning shift. I was teaching lessons to the younger kids. Then I remember toward the end of the summer, I started to take on more shifts, and I started doing like the evening shift. And after we closed the pool, it would take time to kind of shut down. And I would have to ride my bike home around like 10:30, sometimes 11 o'clock at night. Now, the first few nights, I remember thinking that this was just terrifying. I raced my bike home, and did not stop to look at anything. I remember just every person I saw thinking that they could be a bad guy, and every car lights, are they following me? Like there was just all that type of energy within me, and I could not get home fast enough. And then one night, it was different. I can't remember if I was sore or for whatever reason, I couldn't race my bike home. There was something either wrong with my bike or wrong with my body, and I had to walk my bike home. So it took a lot longer, but I had a very different experience. I went there expecting there to be fear, but I started to notice different things about my neighborhood this was a route I had gone on literally hundreds of times. But now I was seeing that there was, a guy walking 3 of his dogs. I had never seen him before. I've seen a lot of dog walkers before, but not that guy. And I could kind of see into people's homes where there was light, and I saw people doing kind of their late night things. And I found that to be comforting. I saw animals that weren't out during the day because I walked past a couple of kind of forest areas. So I came to realize that what I just saw as darkness to be avoided was actually nighttime. And nighttime was just as valid as daytime. It just had a whole different slew of activities and a whole different vibe about it. And so that's kind of what I have come to see about the moon card. It's not so much about it being dark. It's so much about it being the nighttime version of daytime. Things are different at night. You can't expect them to be like daytime. But when we look at nighttime as just another point of view of the world, maybe a little bit skewed. Maybe we have to look at things a bit more carefully so that the shadow that looks like fingers coming at us in the wall, when we look more carefully, we see, oh, it's just the shadow of the tree branch outside. So that sort of thing where we have to just shift our attention and understand that what we're seeing when we're looking at the darkness is really just a more kind of nighttime version of ourself. And when we do kind of shadow work, or when we look at our fears and when we look at events that happen to us that we see as negative, sometimes we have to look at them not as though they're dark and not as though they're to be avoided, but as though they're just the shadow part of us. And since the shadows are us, and the light, meaning our attention and the light that is the life within us, is also us. What is there to be afraid of about our inner darkness? Because it's just our inner nighttime. It's just another side of who we are. And I find that when we want to move forward in life, whatever that means to you, if it means, kind of letting go of old things, achieving a better state of mind, closer to your higher self, when we want to move forward, we can't do that if there are things holding us back. And what I've come to see is that those things that we're afraid of, those beliefs that are telling us mean things, they're like little branches kind of grabbing on the back of our coat. And we think we're moving forward and we're just kind of like digging ourselves deeper into a hole. Our feet are moving, but we're not going anywhere because there's something that's holding us back that we're afraid to face. So what I'm asking you to do today is take a look at something that might be holding you back. And you'll know that it's holding you back because it's a memory or a thought that you have that feels uncomfortable. It's dark. It's one of those nighttime thoughts. It's something that you need to look at and examine using the light of your attention and looking at it from different angles to see what it actually is, because it's part of you. It's not something that is outside of you. You have to kind of be willing to see it for what it truly is from all the different angles in order to understand it. And then when we understand it and we know that it's just a tree branch or whatever analogy you want to use, it's not scary anymore. It's just the tree branch, and it has a scary shape. And when we understand that, all of a sudden, it stops being scary. It's let go, and we find that we can move forward. And there's an intense relief when it comes to being able to face something about ourselves that we don't like and that makes us hurt. And when we let it go, it's like a weight is lifted. And all of a sudden we're in the dark, but we're not afraid and we're not suffering and waiting for the light to come, because it's our dark and it's our light and it's just the nighttime of who we are. I hope this has been helpful. I'm Melle Hartman, and I'll catch you in the next video.
There is no do-over.
Okay.
There is no do-over. There is no do-over.